We've done 269 million views across social. A single video on one platform was 110 million on Instagram. We started making business content in about 4 years. We've built our social media following, School of Hard Knocks, to about 15 million followers. We have the school community that's doing about 140K MRR right now.
Which one is the most lucrative?
We have a couple different revenue streams. Out of all of those, the one that's the no-brainer is...
Yeah, so Jack, it's good to see you. I saw you a few weeks ago in LA. I don't know, I've put you on the spot here, but I know you weren't feeling well, so I hope you're much better now.
Yeah, I'm doing good. When originally we had this scheduled, basically, I know we're diving in the deep end here on some back end history of me, but so I'm 25 and I've had 2 heart surgeries in recent years. And so when originally we had this mastermind scheduled, I had my heart condition had came back for like 2 days that I had originally had surgery for. But by the grace of God, like it went away. So like my heart is back to normal kind of on its own, which is good, which means like the surgery definitely helped the last one that I had. So it was just kind of like a freak out. I was working out and basically like I have like an arrhythmia, so my heart like kind of like spikes out of rhythm out of nowhere. And so, but I was good. I know this, everyone's for kind of first impression. I'm going.
No, well, we were worried about you inside the group, because I said we were postponing because there was a medical issue. So I'm glad you're doing better. I know the group is great, glad as well, grateful as well. But that's part of it. I mean, this is my smooth transition, but as part of the work that you and your brother and your co-founders do, you're like running up on people and getting that information from people pretty quickly. So it's kind of the same thing. For anybody who's not familiar with School of Mentors, what is the YouTube channel like?
Yes. So the actual name of our channel is called School of Hard Knocks. We've been, for about the last 4 years, we started a channel, myself, my brother, and my friend Josh, my brother James, and the 3 of us, we grew up in the DC area. Pretty much we started making business content and eventually like just the 3 of us making videos, and some of those videos did well, but eventually we tried doing interviews with people that have 20, 30, 40 years of experience building companies, things like that. And every interview was just taking off on social media. So in about 4 years, we've built our social media following, School of Hard Knocks, to about 15 million followers across everything. And yeah, the premise of our videos is we just we go to wealthy districts and wealthy areas around the world, mainly here in the US, and we try to get advice and interview with some of the top entrepreneurs and successful people in the world and get their insights on financial literacy, entrepreneurship, success habits, and just to give to the world so that they can get an inside look of what that looks like.
That's amazing. Do you know how many subs you all have, give or take, on YouTube?
On YouTube, we have about close to 1.6 million.
Yeah. And your videos themselves get a lot of views. Like every one that you do, I would say hundreds of thousands of views each time, if not more in some cases. What have been like 1 or 2 videos that have just taken off in a way that surprised even you all?
Yeah, so for the last 30 days on social, I literally was meeting with our team about this yesterday. We've done 269 million views across social. Probably like a single video on one platform was probably 110 million on Instagram. We did a video with an entrepreneur named Myron Golden in Tampa. And so he gave a great video. So that did about 110 million views on Instagram. And I think there's one more video that we did. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but we interviewed this guy named Craig Jackson, who does like car auctions and shows out in Arizona, or I think across the country.
Yeah.
And his video did like 130 to 150 million alone across everything.
Wow. And you recently put up a video with Will Smith.
We did. So we've done some cool interviews. We've done Will Smith, we've done Shaquille O'Neal, we've done Tom Cruise, we've done Kendra Scott, we've done all the Shark Tank people. I think like the last shark we need is like Lori and Kevin, but we've done all the sharks. We're very blessed. We've gotten some really cool interviews.
That's amazing. And I want to go back to like the big earlier stages of this because your videos weren't always you just walking up on, or sorry, your brother just walking up on somebody. It was it was like kind of sitting across from somebody like a normal what we're used to with an interview. What was that? Do you remember when that decision was made? And did you have any idea that it would take off like this when you were making that decision?
Yeah, so originally it was the three of us just making content, and we would experiment. For any of you guys on this call that make content and things like that, a little bit of like some advice is if your following's not too crazy, like you should be experimenting with as many types of content as possible. And so, but still within your niche that's kind of
Yeah.
vertically integrated with what you're trying to accomplish.
Yes.
And we always tried to look at like what viewers did we want to attract, and we would go look at like what other creators are those viewers watching. So we would make a ton of the type of content. And so every now and then a couple of videos would go viral, but there was nothing consistent. And eventually that sort of consistency and willing to take risks and experiment, we thought, hey, like maybe we should go actually like instead of us trying to talk about business, like young guys in our 20s, like let's actually like go talk to people that have built companies. And the audience response was clearly night and day. Our first interview got 100,000 views on TikTok, us just walking up to people and asking them to do that. And so, yeah, we went all in on that interview style. And of course, like we doubled down on like trying to make the intros really crazy. For those of you that create content, if you're struggling to get views, you need to start maximizing the hook of the video. The first 3 seconds of your videos matter more than anything. And I feel that our content company has mastered the hook. Walking up to somebody and asking them like, hey, have you ever been broke before? That's a crazy question to ask somebody on the street, and it catches a lot of attention. So we
Yeah.
really have really mastered trying to do great hooks, reel people in, so we could then have them listen to the video to give them a ton of value from the person we're interviewing.
And you do give a lot of value. And in fact, you started a school membership, which I'm very bullish on, in fact. But you started a school membership, and that's the School of Mentors. Because then you
Yes.
took, okay, we're talking to all these people. We have all these people now that we've met and their friends. Let's use that as like an academy, essentially. So talk a little bit about that, not just what it does, but like the business model behind that.
Absolutely. So for us, we wanted to provide as much value to the market as possible. So we were really uh, our goal was to try to build a following and our distribution as much as possible without having to monetize. Eventually, our following got to a point where we were like, guys, we are just leaving. We've put so much value into the world. Like, I think it's at a point where people are not going to get mad at us if we try to market something.
Yeah.
But we wanted to build something that the audience actually wanted. And so we surveyed everybody. And this is a prime lesson. When we first started the channel, like, we tried selling like an e-commerce product, like some motivational canvas art or something, and that failed completely. That was in like the first 6 months of us doing the channel. We maybe had like a couple 100,000 followers. And we realized it's because we never asked our audience what they wanted from us. We didn't survey the
Mm.
customer. The customer, like, we didn't ask our viewers, hey, like, why do you watch our stuff? What do you want? They didn't want motivational canvas art. They were watching our content because they wanted to get closer to the people we were interviewing. They were like, you guys are great at bridge building and building a bridge between us and people that have become successful. And so we surveyed them. We're like, hey, what's something that we could build for you in order to get you closer to like the people we interview, if that's what you guys want, because that's what we found through our research. And eventually we realized a paid online community made sense. And I think the cool thing is every week we basically invite one of the people that we interview, an 8, 9 figure entrepreneur. Even we've had a couple of billionaires come onto our platform as a weekly call, and people get
Mhm.
to actually ask their questions directly. And I think for a lot of the people in the community, even if they don't ask a question, because the community's gotten quite big, them just being in the room on that call has been super transformative for so many people because they just don't have access to that caliber of person to help like we love the saying, you can only grow to what you've been exposed to. And so for
Mm.
a lot of the people on that call, like they've never been exposed to somebody doing $100 million a year in revenue. And so hearing someone like that talk is worth the price that they pay to be part of the membership. And it's just been super transformative for a lot of people. So I think we have
Yeah.
4,500 members now in that community, and it's been an awesome ride the last year building that.
Yeah. So if you think about like the behind the scenes with this group, if you think about you have YouTube monetization, which is paying you monthly. You have this membership. It sounds like I think I saw that you have like an agency now where you do content for others. Of those three, which one is the most lucrative, would you say?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a couple different revenue streams. So you're spot on. We do the ad revenue from the platforms. We also do brand partnerships and sponsorships on the channel. I
Yeah.
mean, we do 260 plus million views a month. And so we advertise that for different businesses that want to do partnerships with us.
Yeah.
We have the school community that's doing, I think, about 140K MRR right now. And then we launched our high ticket scaling program that it's kind of a two-parter. We have like a content angle where people can learn content directly from us and some of our other creator friends. And then we have the scaling program that is like all areas of business, like get direct help with. Out of all of those, like the school community by far has the best margins as far as
Yeah.
like a tangible business to run. The one that's the no-brainer best margins is the brand partnerships because it's just a sponsorship. So like it does not cost us a ton of money to create a video, like maybe just the flight to go to a city and make a crazy video. So brand partnerships is very lucrative for us, but that is only the case unless you have crazy distribution. But as far as a business model, the school community has been insanely profitable, as well as like the recurring revenue for that business is unbelievable. To have that sort of like safety, I like to call like sort of baseline that next month I know that there's over 100K coming in for that company. It allows me to move so much more strategically as a business owner into with hiring, with growing the business, with how we advertise everything. So clear the agency's great, and that was a cash flow business we started to help us sort of build recurring revenue when we weren't pushing anything to our audience. But the margins on an agency are
They're rough.
are rough. For
Yeah.
us, it's 50%.
Yeah.
I know for others it could be worse, but
Yeah.
because we're doing organic, we don't spend money on ads for that. So we're an organic content agency. But if you're an info, like a community, the margins are like 80, 90%.
Yep.
If you're not running we don't run ads on our school mentors. So for
Well, you're
us, like
getting
the margins are crazy.
260 million views a month across these different platforms. People, I mean, ads would probably, even with retargeting, crank things up a notch, but
For sure.
wow, it is great. So what do you think about churn when it comes to school or any kind of membership? I know monthly churn is like the biggest kind of headache for people. Do you focus more on yearly, or do you have any ways to reduce churn?
100%. So I recommend everybody on this call, if you're in the community world, if you're building online communities and programs, read the book Retention Point by Robert Scrobb. I think that is it's a short book, but I think it really helps you sort of in your brain focus on like what am I actually doing on the product and fulfillment side of my community for people. It's not like what you're giving them, it's not the value what you're getting them, it's how you make people feel. And so for us in our community, our goal is to always get people to the retention point. And that is when they feel that the value they are getting from the program far exceeds what they're paying for. And they're like, man, like this isn't just like a trial for me. This isn't like 30, 40, $50 a month. This is like, I'm getting an insane return on my investment. I never want to leave this community. So
Yeah.
our dire focus has to always been try to get people to the retention point. Some things that we've done to help get people there, to help lower churn. The big thing that has been is the second someone joins the community, to not create confusion for them. They should know exactly where they're going step by step and have something to look forward to. So we have a very great onboarding process. We do a couple things. We have a welcome post with all the next steps that they need to do. We have a welcome course with a welcome video, a community walkthrough. And in that walkthrough, we're telling them where all the value is and how that they're going to feel when they achieve these certain things. We want to make sure that they get a win. And then our classroom is structured in pathways. So the content's not all over the place. It's structured step by step for people to go through so that they always have something to do next. We obviously have the live calls, and we also do onboarding calls, which are really solid. I recommend if you're not doing onboarding calls for your community, I would either hire somebody to do those onboarding calls or you onboard people. It depends at what price point you're at, if you should do group or one-on-one. But on those onboarding calls, that's what we view as our retention point, because on there we can literally directly explain the value of the program and help them feel that it's like, hey, I never want to leave this.
Yeah.
So those are the couple of things that we've been able to do. I always like to say like limit confusion and get them to the retention point.
You mentioned the retention point during the school games, and I actually was taking notes, and I just put in the chat here for everybody who's in the mastermind here. I just put in that I actually did. I took your note, I took that note, and I summarized the retention point for my all access members. So if you click on this on the chat, you'll have that and the notes from the school games where I met Jack. So it's something that stayed with me for a long time. Great recommendation. On those onboarding calls, just to close that loop, are you doing any upsells on those onboarding calls? Are they true onboarding calls?
They are at the heart. We never want to jeopardize the onboarding call to make people feel like they're being sold to.
Yeah.
We do a nod to our scaling program, our high ticket program, just to get like, because it's like, and it's coming from a place that if somebody's in this group and they actually need more direct help, it's like, hey, like they should know about our other program and offering to that. Yeah. So, but it's not like a hard sell. It's like because there's 4,500 people. We do daily onboarding calls Monday through Friday.
Wow.
And on those, and they're group calls, they're not one-on-one. But on the call, basically, there's a QR code with a little bit of an explanation of like, hey, if you're this type of person, you should go do this. We have like LLC partnerships set up. So if people need to get their business, we have an affiliate plug there. I think there's we also affiliates. We ask people like, hey, if you're looking to make some money, then you could always come be an affiliate for our group. Those are kind of the only things we really upsell. But like at the end of the day, we truly want to like we really want to get people to that retention point and make them feel that like, man, like I can't believe I bought School of Mentors for this price. They're charging way too low. I'm going to be here forever because I can't believe how much value is packed into this community. That's our goal on those onboarding calls.
Yeah. I love school. I love everything about it. I'm so bullish about it. I'm in some of their ads now. I'm excited about that. I don't know if everybody saw that, but I'm in some of their ads. I'm sure you are too. Hopefully you are. But the school has kind of been a game changer, and I love hearing that. That's how you're able to connect. And do you see like School of Mentors going to 10,000 people? Like, do you see that kind of scales that way?
I think School of Mentors could get to 30,000 people. Mm-hmm. I think. And because we have an outlook for it, I think like for us, like our goal is like, we will always hire people in order to be able to have that personal touch. So every member that joins, we have 2 people from our team reach out to them immediately, like directly, in addition to the auto DM that school sends on our behalf. They reach out and we tell them, hey, like book a welcome call. Do you need help finding anything? Hey, here's when the next live call is. I hope to see you there. And another thing that we just started doing, so I got the chance to spend some time with Steven Klubeck, who sold his company for $2.3 billion to Hilton several years ago. He owned like a hotel chain. Yeah. And his biggest thing that I learned from him was when he ran Diamond Resorts International, which was the name of his hotel chain, he used to put this little sticker underneath like a dresser that said like a little note card, like he would have his maid staff put under the dresser that says, yes, we clean here too, in all the hotel rooms and his stuff. And he called those things unexpected delights. So I've tasked our team to pretty much come up with like, what's an unexpected delight we can give our members when they join. So we send them a thing of one-liners that have been said in the Hard Knocks interviews, being like, here's a list of all the like successful motivational quotes that we say in our interviews, just for you as joining School of Mentors. Yeah. Like, here you go. Like, here's a PDF with a ton of quotes and stuff. And so that sort of stuff is like, that's scalable. We'll just hire more people to come and make sure that they can reach out and give that direct feel and touch to the members there. If we have to do more calls, if we have to do things like that to scale for that many members, I'm willing to do it. But I truly believe like we can, with what we're building with School Mentors, we can turn this into something that impacts 50,000 plus people. I think 100%. I think
I agree with you. Do you have a sense of which platform is bringing you the most conversion when it comes to members?
As far as, which social media platform?
Yeah.
So conversion, it's by far YouTube. And the reason why, so Instagram, we have the largest following. Instagram, we have 6.3 million followers on Instagram. So we do get a lot on Instagram. But YouTube, the followers on there has just spent so much time with our face of the channel, which is James, my brother, who does the interviews. They've just gotten to know him so well through the content and are so bought in that, and he also has way more runway to explain the value and even get people to that retention point before they join the community in like our YouTube integrations. Like I think I mentioned this in my school talk, but like we would do a YouTube integration for brands, like they'd pay us and we do like a minute segment in the middle of our YouTube videos. Well, we just started doing an integration for our community essentially in the middle of our videos. So we didn't jeopardize the content. We just made the ad space for our community essentially.
Yeah. And I mean, I think everybody here is not surprised by me agreeing with that because YouTube is that depth that I keep talking about. It is just so powerful. And you have 5 times almost the number of subscribers on Instagram. And it does help with that recognition, but the conversions happen through YouTube. And not just if you have 1 million plus subscribers, but from day one, it has that depth to it. And every time you put a video up, you're adding to that archive and to the asset, which is so cool. Any other thoughts on YouTube itself? Anything that you've noticed since you do sit in this place, that a lot of people don't?
Yeah. So if you're starting on YouTube, a big thing that I want people to remember is like your early videos are going to suck. It's okay, but stay consistent. Like all of our old videos when we started the channel are still there. We're not taking them down because I always love going back to show people how like crappy those old videos were, because it's like we had to start somewhere, but we did not give up. We just kept trying to make every video a little bit better. That's advice directly from Mr. Beast, who's the #1 content creator in the world, in my opinion, #1 YouTuber.
Yeah.
He said, just like, if you're complaining about video 5, try getting to video 100 and just improve one thing about your video each time. Another thing I think people need to pay attention to is the packaging of your video is just important as the video itself. You could give a master class, but YouTube's a browse platform. It's a search platform. It's not like TikTok where the videos are just fed to you. People are searching. It's like a digital billboard. So your thumbnail and your title have to be awe-catching. It needs to be curiosity-invoking. Like someone that does this really well is Stephen Bartlett, the guy that runs Diary of a CEO podcast. He'll interview like a medical expert or somebody that's like an expert. I don't know this person's name. I've never heard of this random medical expert, but the videos do well because he doesn't even put their name in the title. He just says, learn how to slow down aging by 50%. It's like, that's going to catch my attention, not Dr. Zark Bogahashini. Like, does it,
exactly.
You want to think about the viewer. It's a digital billboard. What's going to catch their attention? So for us with YouTube, like those are just some slight tips on getting started. As far as like the YouTube videos themselves, it's like, get right to the point. Don't do slow intros. Like people like, don't like be like, hey guys, this is so-and-so and welcome back to the channel, blah, blah. Like that's cool if you already are established, but if you're starting out, nobody knows you yet. So you need to show them the value right away. Yeah.
Do y'all think Jack could be my son? Because you're literally saying this is what I preach all the time. It's so true. People have theme songs, but they have fewer than 100 subscribers. And I'm like, make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
Yeah. You got to treat the intro to your YouTube videos when you're starting early on as if you were like in a 30-second elevator pitch with an investor or basically imagine you and your subscriber in an elevator and you have 30 seconds to convince them why they should watch your content. That's what your intros are basically doing. But in the sense it's the context is for the video essentially. Like just go watch any of Mr. Beast's videos. I know he's not in probably a similar niche from anybody here. He's kind of in a niche of his own. But if you watch it, he starts the video like, in this video, we're gonna slam a Lamborghini with a hydraulic press. And like something crazy like that. But it catches your attention. And I'm not saying anybody here on this call needs to go do stuff like that, but you get what I'm saying is like,
but you know what's going on. And even with you all, you're talking about Stephen Bartlett, who we study a lot, but you all, even if I see somebody who I know that person, Will Smith or Reid Hoffman, you're not going to say, hey, here's Reid Hoffman and we're doing that, because you're saying it from the point of view of someone who doesn't know that guy, but they understand that he's worth this many billions. Like that's an understandable broad topic, you
It
know.
brings credibility to a lot of people overestimate the amount of people they think that know them online.
Yep.
For our marketing agency, like we specialize in entrepreneur personal brands, and so we have to coach our clients, the entrepreneurs. You can't start a video being, so as you guys know, or like uh just like I always say, it's like these
Yep.
people they've never, this is their first time seeing you. That 269 million views a month that we do, like 80% of that is from non-followers.
Wow.
So it's
That's
people that like
really
maybe
important.
have never even seen School of Hard Knocks content before. So
Yeah. Yeah. And are they sticking around? Like if they see one man on the street, do they want more of that? Are they clicking through, coming back when you post again?
for sure, when we first started, we used to do a call to action to get people to follow, but like I think we got to a point where we were established enough where we didn't need to do that. But for with that, I know people will slide over and watch more of the interviews. It's just because like we found that because we took the time to experiment and find what people really like in our content, like it's almost become a little bit of a show almost. Like it's the same format that people know, it's going to be familiar to them, but it's something new every time in the same format. And so when you're creating content, like you want to try to experiment until you can find a replicatable formula that gets people to come back over and over again. It's just like how school, you want recurring revenue. On our platform, we want recurring viewers. So
Mm.
like once you find something that works, you can double down 10x on it, because it's like if like you get a video that does really well, like the viewers probably want to see more of that. That is, there's no algorithm, it's the audience. So if the audience set if a video does well, then the audience is saying like do more of that content. But I always see people like they do that and then the next video is like something random. It's like
Mhm.
give them more of what they want. You can always keep it authentic to your brand, just always think of the audience first.
Yeah, I think what I hear from a lot of people is I don't want the audience to get bored. And what you're saying, like in my case, it's so true. Once, especially after the first 24 hours, that's mostly new viewers. Like in my case, it could be different numbers for different people, but it's usually new viewers. And Alex Hormozy talks about this, right? He talks about how when he was doing his book launch, his last book launch, he has a new one coming out, but his last one, 500,000 people signed up to it. It broke a Guinness World Record of how many people were on a simultaneous cast for a book launch. He still, when he walked out of his door to do his daily walks, he would have people come up to him every 5 minutes because that's how his life is. He would still say, "Hey, man, you got the book?" And they'd say, "What book?" Because even I talk about this too. Gary V. Do you know Gary V's daughter's what his daughter's face looks like? No. Like that's his privacy, that's his thing. Even someone who's out there that much still has, pieces of his life that are hidden. And even if I were to ask 10 people right now, do you know who Gary V is? Less than half would say yes.
It's crazy. Yeah. I love Gary Vee. I
Yeah, I do
like
too.
a lot of people would ask me like who was an interview that you really wanted to get. And so like Gary Vee was one of mine
Did you get
because
one?
like
Did you get him?
yeah, we got
Oh,
Gary Vee.
good, good, good. Okay.
We did Gary Vee.
He's a
Yeah.
friend of mine, so I wanted to make sure that you did that.
Gary's a big reason why I became an entrepreneur. And I
Yeah.
told him that. Like we had a little bit of time with him, but I
Crush it.
literally,
Was it Crush It?
it was just his content.
Yeah.
He made a video that said, "What should you do if you're 22 years old?" And I watched that when I was 19, and I kept watching it until I was 22 and I graduated college. And I was just like, man, I don't want to go to the corporate route. Like I got to do my
Yeah.
own thing. It was just speaking to me very well. Like his content was a big part of me making that decision to go all in on what we've built today. So
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the impact that he's had on so many people. Um, I want to give people a chance in the mastermind to ask questions. So get your questions ready. You can put them in the chat or go live in a moment. I want to ask you finally about um your your model behind the scenes. So your brother is on camera, but he's also part of the co-founding group. You have a third co-founder. How do you all split your responsibilities?
yeah, that's a great question. So obviously starting out, it was all of us making the content. And, eventually as things grew, we were starting to figure out that like, hey, we all can't be going out and filming content if we want to make and build a business. Like at some point, somebody's like got to be doing something else that's worth more than holding a camera.
Mm,
So like, and I think videography is great work, but like to me, I think you could hire that at an hourly rate. What's my time worth? What's my co-founder's time worth? And so we had to make a decision. We were like, I think it's best for the brand. James had more content creation experience. Josh, my third partner, and myself, we had more business experience. So him and I kind of took a backseat from the content being in it. We still held the camera for a bit, but when we were able to build businesses, we eventually started hiring a videographer to film with James. And then Josh and I could really be the operators building the businesses on the back end. So James is the face. He's the guy you're going to see in the interviews. And he does a lot of the front end work of like connecting clients for our agency to me. Yeah. He'll like help get people to come on for the live calls. He's kind of like the front man. He meets all the millionaires out in public. And then he throws everybody in a group chat with me and Josh, and we're able to kind of take things from there and build our business ecosystem. So on the back end, Josh and I, our duties are kind of split overlooking things. Like I handle front end for our agency and Josh kind of handles the back end. And then for our community, Josh kind of does the marketing with James. And then I handle all the operations for that. I handle all the operations for the high ticket program. I do all the admin stuff behind the scenes, the lawyer, the CPA, all that jazz. Josh does the brand partnerships. So it's a very split thing.
Yeah.
And then James is doing the media. And then we have a team. We have about 30 people that work across those businesses in the Hard Knocks ecosystem. So that's like total, like that's our team size.
Are they mostly contract?
So full-time, about half.
Yep.
Then we have overseas, like employees, and then we have a few contractors that do like we have a guy that does our YouTube thumbnails and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you have James as what Danielle Priestley would call the key person of influence.
Yes.
You then have like the depth in the background to back it up. And different people on this call are going to think of themselves in different ways. Some people right now, we're probably doing all of it, but you can make a decision. Do I want to be key person of influence, bring in people, start the YouTube channel, have the people coming through and creating those opportunities, and then have people to catch those opportunities? Or do I want someone else to do that? And, it's my brainchild and I'm doing the rest. And those types of decisions are like $1 million decisions. So hopefully people
Absolutely.
think about that.
As you can tell, I'm a book guy. And so if anybody here is super keen on just doing it and being themselves, I highly recommend you read the book, The E-Myth Revisited.
The E-Myth?
The E-Myth Revisited. That book, if you're a solopreneur or just somebody that's in the trenches doing it yourself, or feel like you're working in the business too much, like it's like, man, like I'm having to do all these things, read that book. It'll change your perspective and just watch how your company grows if you follow what is in that book, because it will change your mind to go from being someone working in the business to somebody working on the business on growth activities and bringing in other people to help you with the things to just fulfill on what needs to get done in the business. If you build really good systems, you can plug anybody in that system. They don't even need to be an A player, and your company still will run like an A player team.
Yeah, love that. Lakeisha says it's by Michael Gerber. She loves the book. And then I think Selena has read it as well. Very cool. I hadn't heard of it. I'll check it out. Tell me a little bit about like your take on it. Like, do you have, when you see your brother out there getting all the kind of the attention for it, what is your take on that? It seems like you're very grounded, but what is your take on that? Is it like, hey, maybe I want to do a couple of videos too, every other video? Have you thought of that?
So to me, I think that sort of mindset would be rooted in a lot of ego. And of course, there's, like my partner, like my business partner, myself, and James, like we all are building this company, but it's a little bit of sacrifice that's there. It's like, hey, like James clearly is the better content creator. And so in order for us to win at the end of the day for the team, like he needs to be the guy doing the interviews. That's who the audience really wants to see.
Okay.
And then on the back end, it's like, I have certain traits that James does not, that if things were reversed and he was doing the back end, James is very skilled, but it's like, I feel that I personally would do a better job at that as well. Yeah. And I think he would agree with that. And so like, it just works. That sort of thing. And it's like, if anything, I'm very happy for James. Like he works his ass off getting those interviews. He deserves the notoriety and he's a phenomenal interviewer. I think it would be a very ego-based decision to be like, oh, I deserve some of that attention. If anything, it's not a James thing. It's not a team. It's not a Hard Knocks problem. That's me that needs to go and actually put in the work to build my personal brand to get recognition on my own on what I'm building and things like that. I'm just very focused on building this. So that piece has not came
Yeah.
yet. That's where my kind of decision and mindset around that is sort of built.
I love that, and it's so grounded. And I'm going to talk to you in a minute about like how that happened at 25. But I wonder, what about like a side channel that is, maybe 15,000 subscribers or people watch it every
We have
time?
that. We
You
have that.
do?
We
What is that
all
about?
three, all School of Hard Knocks podcasts.
Oh,
So
okay. I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
that inside
So
the
the,
classroom, but I didn't know it was a YouTube thing.
yeah, so the podcast, Josh, James, and I are all on it. We basically do a sit down interview with the most beloved people on our channel, or even like now we'll start doing it like basically like if people want to hear more from someone, we'll try to
Yeah.
do a sit down podcast with them,
Yeah.
or just somebody that's built a crazy story. Like there's probably some people we'll do a podcast with, but we won't even put them on like the main channel. It's just like they're better in that format
Yeah.
in that
And I
way
would say,
anyways.
I'm going to give one more piece of unsolicited advice just because I do that, is your presentation at school games was my favorite one. No shade to anybody else, but it was my favorite. You're very, very good at that. And I think, and this is why I asked you to do this, I think that there's a lot you could teach, kind of like how Layla Hormozy does all the operational stuff, for her videos. There's something that you could teach that would bring back to the company maybe a certain lane, maybe your agency or something that it would help promote. But I would love to see more of that from you, because when I see the main content, I watch a little bit of it, but I mostly it's entertainment in a lot of ways. And I think that there's some depth that you have that could be real tactical that would help a group of people. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And I feel like even something like that, like doesn't need to be a million followers. Like it's even
No,
just like people that want
15,000.
tactical stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a few, maybe 100,000, 15,000. It's just like real tactical. And it is, and the people watching it kind of are like more like me, where we're like, actually, I would hire you to do all the back end stuff, rather
Yeah.
than, oh, I want to see that person talk about it. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that you have that group. I think you have the same people who would go to a Hormozy workshop. I think you have that audience, and you may not realize it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I 100% see that.
Okay, cool. Giselle.
Hi, thank you. I can't get on camera, but I have 2 questions that I'm so excited I get to ask. Okay, number one, I'm really curious, Jack, why you guys chose a low tier offer like 49, and why that? Why did you choose that? Second, I'm so curious. I'm not in your community, so I don't know how it works. I only know about the about page. Do you pay the mentors to come? So is that part of where your revenue goes? And so, and I'm going to tag a little third question
Well,
in
no,
there.
no, hold on that question, Giselle. Go ahead. Answer those 2 questions,
Yeah.
John.
So great question. So because we have so much distribution, I feel that like a low ticket offer works for us. I feel like if we didn't have so much distribution, I think a free to paid model would work better, like a free community and then upselling people to a paid community. But even Hermosi and Sam Ovens, when we met them at the School Games Mastermind, they even said that like the first one, because
Yeah.
we've been twice. The first one we went after the first month that we launched, we even said like, should we have done free to paid instead of low ticket? And they even said that low ticket was the right to go because we have so much distribution. We're going to achieve great numbers of revenue by allowing more people to get in. It's also not so much from a business standpoint, but like a true genuine mission of the channel is to be able to provide access to mentorship, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, success habits to the masses. And so if we price it at like $100 plus, then you're limit. There's a lot of people in our audience that don't get the opportunity to get that sort of resources. And so I still feel we can build a great company with a great business model, even if we price it at a price that is relatively affordable for a lot of the market.
And
So
you have
that
like
was,
your age range is like 18 to 27, I kind of feel,
it's
right?
a little bit older. And the reason for that is because I think we still need to do a better job as a society of getting younger people interested in these things that are going to impact their life in a big way. But I think a lot of our audience is that early 20s to mid 30s.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I feel it's a lot of people that went into a career they weren't super wild about and they're trying to look for a change. Or they're just like, they wake up and they're just like, man, corporate world is not for me.
Yeah.
I didn't grind hard enough like early on. And so like to do it out of college, or maybe they weren't even interested in being an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. And they get to like their mid 20s or 30s and they're like, man, I should really start paying attention to taxes and investing and
Mm.
maybe building a business, cash flow, things like that. So that's why we priced it that way. And then that's really where our demographic is. We also have a worldwide community. Like our community is only, I think, like 40%, 50% US. Everything else is from international. And so a lot of the international countries can't afford $100+ and we want to impact the world. I think there's a lot more opportunities there. Your second question,
Do you pay
do we
the,
pay the mentors? Okay. So all the mentors that come on and speak to our community, the School of Mentors, that we do not pay them. They come and speak to our community for probably a number of reasons. One, we always try to build a relationship with the people that we interview, and just being like trying to build a relationship with them. I think that's always good from a networking perspective. But like, to be fair, they got posted on a platform for no cost and got millions of views of exposure. They're like, I think we did like a video with John Morgan, like from Morgan and Morgan, like the billionaire, and he got like 30 million views on Instagram. Like that's the best ad Morgan and Morgan's ever gonna get. And it was literally just like they didn't have to pay for it. And so for them, like for John Morgan, like that's a connection that we're always gonna have because of that, doing a video with him and getting so many views. That's a billionaire that's now in our network. I would, instead of like, trying to like pay like trying to get some money out of them, that connection is worth way more than any sort of brand deal that they could have
yeah,
given
because
us.
people would pay to be an expert on School of Hard Knocks and School
For
of
sure.
Mentors, and I understand to pay the person, but let's say you could pay them 5 or 10,000 each. For most of the people you bring in who are millionaires and billionaires, 5 to 10,000 isn't even worth it for them. They'd much rather have a little bit of, hey, scratch my back, I scratch yours, back and a little back and forth there, which is kind of the realistic thing. Yeah, so totally
Like
get that.
Stephen Klubeck, the billionaire that I mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
who had the unexpected delights thing. Like he
yeah,
came and did a call for our group, and he's even down to do another one. I can't pay that guy. Like there's no amount of money that's going to like satisfy that guy for an hour of his time.
yeah.
But for him, we've built a great relationship with him. We did a great video that helped promo him and so that some of the things he's got going on. And so he came and gave 2 hours to our community. I think he wants to do it again and just pour into people a lot. And the biggest thing that we've realized is a lot of wealthy, successful people, like they actually do care about giving back to the younger generation. So for them, the relationship we built and that opportunity for them to give back to people, like they're down. Now, I believe you probably asked that question, maybe if you're a community owner trying to see like, how do I get guests to come on? And part of that is maybe start small, a lot of this, like, and see if there's a way to trade value instead of just like ask, like trying to pay them to come on and speak. Like, I do think it's valuable to either like build a relationship, some way to provide some sort of like value to them, or maybe see another way of like, why would it be worth it for them to come speak to your community? I also think like the more stack your credibility, like we didn't just like start doing interviews and immediately could go get like Shaq or, Will Smith. Like we had to grow, like we had to gradually grow our credibility by getting more people. So I wouldn't like maybe try to get like somebody massive to come and speak, but just start small and stack your credibility, because then you can leverage that to get the next person. It's like, hey, I just had this person come and speak. Like, I think it'd be really cool for you to come and do one as well. It'd be a good opportunity. They got a lot out of it. That's how I would frame it.
Giselle, what was your
You
third
had a
question?
third question. I want to make sure I answer.
What was that one?
Thank you so much. That was super cool to learn. I'm always curious when people build communities that have 100K, a month, what of that ends up actually being your profit versus your spending?
So I will answer this strictly with not including our high ticket program because we used a little bit of that money to invest in that, but like the high ticket program is profitable anyways. For School of Mentors itself, it's doing about 140,000 MRR right now. For the majority of the cost goes to my team. Because it's like, even if you read a book like E-Myth, like I don't want to be the one answering customer service DMs. I don't want to be the one having to post announcements. So for me, my biggest cost is my team. I think like the way that I did it, because the margins are so high in communities, every month I would take 30% of the revenue that we made. Now keep in mind, this is only because I'm not spending $1 on ads. This is only organic marketing. So it's a little bit different. If you have to spend money on ads, obviously you need to factor this in. But speaking from my perspective, we don't have any advertising costs. For me, I would just take 30% of the revenue and give it to the business. 70%, because the margins are so high, I could actually pay out to the owners, like of the community, me and my business partners. But out of the 30%, I use to invest in our team, essentially.
Yeah.
And so I hired a community manager. I have another community manager just because of the scale that we just got. I have a head of community, so someone that kind of replaced me having to point and shoot a lot of the operations on the day-to-day for different projects we're rolling out. I have a customer service rep that's a virtual assistant from overseas. I have a moderator that's a virtual assistant from overseas. All of these are like, this is all fulfillment. And then like, of course, like you're going to need front end people as well, but it just depends on your model. So out of that 30%, I would say even like probably spending like anywhere from probably 15% of that on team right now. And everybody on the team is making good money. So it's like that they're happy with. So that transparently is like where it's just investing in the team so that we can scale the community, and that it's like I can now focus on building other things and the community kind of runs itself.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank
Great
you.
questions. Great questions. Great answers. Janine.
Hello.
How are we doing?
I love you all. So I watch your videos. I am out of your target audience, but I'm a huge fan. And I have my niece and my nephews watch you. And I have to tell you that I always enjoy them because it's almost like sport for me. I'm like, okay, when your brother runs up to someone, first I always wonder, some of the people I know visually just from being around, and some are new to me. So I always wonder, is it because of where you are, statistically speaking? If I'm at, the Mandarin Oriental and someone's walking out, statistically speaking, the percentage of people coming out are probably going to be, multimillionaires. Like, how do you decide? I mean, clearly there are certain communities we know in the country that are extremely affluent, or places people go. Like, how do you make those decisions, particularly in your earlier days before you were so well known?
Great question. So we started in Austin, Texas. That's where we're based. And we started this when I was finishing up at school at the University of Texas. James is actually he still had 2 more years to go. And so James and I basically, when we weren't in class, we would be downtown, like literally the second we're not in class, or like we would just be in the car and Uber going downtown, and we would be spending hours. I'm talking hours in the wealthiest districts of Austin, just interviewing people. I think people see the channel and they think it's like, oh, this guy's so good at picking them out. we probably post maybe like 5 to 10% of the interviews we actually do. If that. I don't even think like that. I think majority of the interviews we don't even post. In early days, we posted a lot more, but as like the quality of the videos have gotten, it's like we're very selective on who we actually post and the quality of the interview. Early on, I always like this. Basically, our pitch was this is our exact pitch when we would like walk up to people early on. And like when I was talking about stacking credibility, like this is literally like our hack. So we didn't have any notable interviews when we first started this channel, but what was the closest thing for us that we could be credible on? Well, we're young guys holding a camera. They're going to think it's some joke for TikTok, but what's something that we could leverage that maybe they might take us seriously? So both of us were going to the University of Texas. So we included that in our pitch to maybe make people think that it's like, hey, like this isn't like some joke for TikTok. This is a serious interview. And so I would always, we'd walk up and be like, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am. My brother and I, we started a channel at the University of Texas where we're going around asking successful people just for 5 minutes, a couple questions to help the younger generation. Wanted to know if you had a quick 5 minutes that we could interview you real quick. That was before we were like really walking up on people. That was our pitch to people to maybe start getting our base of interviews. The key to that was like, it was very tactical. Like we tried to throw some credibility in there. Like we're studying at UT. We're very intentional. It's only going to take 5 minutes. And the benefits to you is you get to impact the younger generation. And most people, they've had 20, 30, 40 years of experience in a career and have never been asked before, hey, what's your advice to the younger generation? This is their chance to actually say something. It's like, man, I've worked my ass off. Like, let me actually like give back, now's my time to actually kind of explain my story. So many people wanted to dive in. Of course, we got rejected. We get rejected all the time still.
That was my question.
For sure.
Yeah,
you just don't see the rejections.
I wondered about that because I see, sometimes running up and I'm like, well, not all these people are like so well known. And then, particularly because I've seen, I think they're more recent anyway, where, your brother will run up and say, hey, when did you make your first million? And then the person will pause and then, say, explain, hey, look, see my channel, I have all these viewers. And then, there'll be a conversation. But what I love is that he's so persistent. And I'm almost like cheering for him, like, what else are you gonna ask? What else? You really get invested in his success too. And because you're winning, because you're getting the information, but then you're also kind of rooting for him because it's just so brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it just shows people that just because someone tells you no doesn't mean that he's able to handle the objections, he's able to move past it. Like that's our biggest thing is like don't be afraid of rejection. Like a lot of people they'd be like, no, I'm not interested, no, I don't have time. They'd be like, oh, okay, have a nice day. But it's like hey, like you can work through that a little bit. Like every no is just a step closer to a yes for us. And so like we don't take that rejection too crazy. A lot of people don't see the crazy rejections. Like there's times where people are just like, get that freaking camera out of my face. Like it gets crazy sometimes.
That would be interesting to see.
See all the bloopers. Yeah. So but yeah, it's been great.
I mean, I see that in that the one thing, like people sometimes will say no or only have a minute, and then you're looking and you're like, oh my God, the person answered like 3 more questions. So it definitely was something to, like you said, there's some learning there. But it's just so fun to meet you because I really do enjoy the channel and it showed, I'll be scrolling and it pops up and I always watch the interviews. And like I said, I have my, my young niece and nephews watching. So inspiring them to create some amazing things. So thanks so much for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. Selena. Oh, you're on mute there.
Clearly, I hit the wrong button. That's what 58 gets you.
Hey.
Welcome, Jack. Thank you so much for doing this for us. I am building my YouTube channel as well. I have 2 questions for you. The first one, you all talked about like not running ads and running your own ads. What does that really look like? I heard someone else say that she runs her own ads, but isn't the whole idea of YouTube that you get monetized because you allow them to run ads? So how do you run your own ads?
Great question. So what I meant by that was we still run ads on the videos. So like we still get ad revenue that YouTube places ads on our videos, but we'll have what's called a brand sponsorship integration. So a lot of times a company will pay us to have James, my brother, the interviewer, do like a minute segment talking about the company as like the sponsor for today's video. YouTube's still placing their Google AdSense ads like on the videos, so we still get ad revenue from the channels. But for like halfway through the video after for YouTube, we'll compile like 4 interviews together and kind of make it like a themed video, like asking millionaires in Miami or something like that. And so we'll do 2 interviews, give a lot of value to the audience, probably some YouTube ads will roll through that. But then in the middle, James will be like, guys, that was an amazing interview, but real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, AG1. I'm always on the go, having to interview people, like I need my supplements. So, and then he does for like a minute talking about AG1. So what we do is instead of like having AG1 or like a brand sponsor the video, like there's hundreds of brands that do YouTube integrations, we'll just have James do a YouTube integration for our own product, School of Mentors. So we'll be like being like, guys, that was a great interview, but real quick, I want to let you know I launched one of the best communities for entrepreneurs in the world where you get to talk to a millionaire and billionaire directly. It's called the School of Mentors. And then he dives into the ad basically. So that's what I was meaning by that.
And does he do it while he's doing that, or you just have it separately done and you just splice it in there?
Yeah, we have a YouTube editor. So like pretty much like we'll have him do the integration. Like James is great on the fly. He crushes it. Like when he's in that interview, that is him. Like there's no second takes. Like he's literally like grilling this person to try to get an interview. But when you give him something scripted, he's like an actor. You have to freaking do take after take after take. And then but we'll get a great take and we'll put it in the video. So
it's so awesome. I've been watching those. I just didn't realize it was you all. And for a long time, I didn't think they were real.
What was interviews?
The interviews. I thought it was some kind of skit. So
for
you to be here. Yeah, I love this. So my second question is around, what did you learn not to do? You tell us a lot about what to do. What did you learn not to do from all of that?
From which part in particular? The interviews or
interviews, building your channel? You are just like a plethora of knowledge here that you've learned.
So if you're growing your channel, I'm going to say what to do here, like stay consistent. So don't take time off, like away from the channel, like stay consistent.
So that's what not to do is don't take time off.
Don't take time off. Like, and I like, if you got to like get your brand right, that's fine. But like, once you go, you got to go. Like, don't like put your foot on the pedal and hit the gas. Like you want to stay consistent. That's why, like I always said, like your first videos are going to suck. Like the beginning of your journey as a creator is not going to be great, but eventually if you stay consistent, we always like to say quantity breeds quality. So if you're putting the quantity out, then eventually you yourself are going to get better as a creator because you will learn from the audience feedback, what is working, what's not, what should I do differently, and you will improve. But a lot of people get don't be an analysis paralysis, trying to be a perfectionist. Film the content and then adjust it later on. Just because you put a piece of content out there, it's not like, all right, you get 5 videos, and if these 5 videos are not great, you are doomed forever as a creator. Like, no, you can post hundreds of pieces of content, and number 135 becomes a viral hit. But you can't get to that yes if you go through all the no's first. If you don't go through all the no's first. So don't take time off. Don't be an analysis paralysis. That's my advice to you as a creator. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again with no pivoting. Like one thing that we did really, really well was early on, we would make slight pivots. Even when we found out interviews was our thing, like originally, like we weren't even in the videos. We were just filming people with our iPhone. And then we like made the small pivot that like people were getting less interested in that. So we put ourselves in the videos. Then we had James be the sole interviewer. Then we put our logo on the videos and we had him walk up to people and stuff like that. So we were making small pivots. So Albert Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again without getting a different result. So like for you, like for all you guys, like make small pivots when things are not working. So those are some early things that I would do. And don't rely on ad revenue. Like if you're a creator, don't just solely rely on ad revenue. Especially if, for me, I had multiple business partners. When we first started, our first revenue stream was ad revenue. And we got in a Facebook program making like 20, 30K a month. And that's split between 3 people. And so we would take the money out for expenses and we had to invest everything back in because we were smart. But typically young kids would like take that money and go buy a bunch of bullshit. We put it all back into the business. And one day Facebook said, you guys are getting a copyright strike on our own video. And our monetization was done for like 3 months plus. And we were only making like 1,000 or 2,000. This was early on when we didn't have this robust channel yet. And they flagged us for no reason, shut our Facebook's weird. And we even went down to the Facebook headquarters in Austin to plead like, this is our own video. Like you flagged, this is a mistake. And we realized it's like, guys, 3 people, like we can't rely on ad revenue. It's not consistent. It's not in our control. So that building that recurring revenue product is what saved our business. The first thing that we launched was the agency. But the one that took us to that next level was the school community and building that recurring revenue base. So if you're a creator, like focus on providing as much value as possible, but like figure out a way to not just rely on ad revenue. So I know it's a little long-winded, but I just feel like those are some key lessons that if we didn't learn them, then we would not be where we're at today.
I agree with you. Facebook's weird. And
you said YouTube is weird too.
I love YouTube is good, weird in a good way. It lets you do.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, it lets you do long form. I'm having a blast. Arlan told me to get over there. I'm learning. I'm super excited about it. And thank you for being here. You really spoke a lot to me in this conversation today. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's great to meet you.
Thank you. And Selena, just today, I filmed 2 interviews that are going to go on YouTube. And right before I got on this call, like 2 minutes before I got on this call, I filmed my ad break. So I broke into my own video to say, hey, isn't Quiana's interview amazing? Isn't Michelle's interview amazing? You want to check out my in-person YouTube workshop, ... So I did that. I might even do it here. I might even do it just to show you right now. But
I see you've changed up some things too, Arlan. You've got this black background.
Oh, the only reason I do is for the last couple of days. It's for a couple of reasons, but I have a new laptop and it keeps zooming all around, and I have to figure out how to stop doing that. So I'm just like, I don't want to be distracted. I want to keep filming, and I'm not going to let this stop me from filming. So I just like put this up. Don't care. Nobody said anything. People have watched more views than ever. It's just, you just keep moving. You just keep moving. Okay. Thank you, Selena. So, Jack, do you know that I have a book called Your First Million?
Your First Million. I love it.
Yeah. That's my second book of 3. Katsama, your next question.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Jack, for all the knowledge that you've been giving us. My question to you is, so I wanted to start a podcast and a YouTube channel, and I was thinking just combining both and making like a video cast. Would you recommend that for someone that is breaking into the content creation, or just focus on one and then later on start another thing? So I'm kind of like still trying to figure out if I should do that, or maybe I should just wait.
If you weren't doing the podcast, what other content would you be making?
YouTube.
What in the YouTube content?
Like interviewing filmmakers or people in the industry, in the entertainment industry. So the podcast would be the same, but I thought, why not just do both at the same time? And but then I'm like, well, that's a lot of work, and maybe I should just focus on one and then I can do the other one. So I wasn't sure if that's a smart thing to do.
So if you did it all on one YouTube channel, you could experiment with both types of content and see which one performs better if you're doing interviews or podcasts. Like I said, if your channel is not super established, you can take as many risks as you want. And I actually, we did the sit down thing. We did the walk up interview compilations. Like we did all the different types of content early on our YouTube channel. Like you can go back and watch it on School of Hard Knocks, like our oldest videos. So if you're wanting to see which one you would prefer to do, you have the bandwidth to experiment on one channel. The strategy is a little bit different for both, but ultimately the advice I'm going to give you kind of falls to the same format. Whatever you decide to do, like view it as if like, kind of like back to what I said earlier. The problem with a lot of people is they're like, I'm going to start a podcast and it's going to blow up. It's going to be really great. And even people that get like crazy big guests to come on their podcasts, like it doesn't even blow up.
Yep.
Podcasts are extremely hard to break into. But the way that you're able to do it is, again, what I talked about Stephen Bartlett earlier, and his strategy is you have to treat your podcast like, why is the viewer going to care about this conversation with me and this person that they might not even know the two of us, but what's a way I can package my video that makes the viewer actually care to tune in? Because YouTube, it's a browsing platform. So they're going to show your video to somebody like as an option to click on. So your thumbnail and title need to be super intriguing to the point. And I'm not saying it's going to be your first video is going to be perfect. I'm just trying to help shortcut the strategy. Like look at other people in your niche, like who your target viewers are watching, and make thumbnails very similar to them, make titles very similar to them to get their attention to come and watch this conversation. that would be my recommendation. And make sure your intros aren't like a big explanation about you and them. Like try to make the intros. If you're doing a podcast, like do a highlight reel of like the best sound bites and moments from the podcast, but don't give it all away. Like be like, if they on the podcast, they're like, the best advice for anyone doing is this. Like, don't drop it, like bleep it out or something, like because it's going to be in the podcast. Like make it like a trailer or preview to a movie. That's great for podcasts. Even for if you watch our videos, we do a preview on our content right now. So I think for you, I would try both. At some point, you're going to need to stick to one format, depending on which one's working. I always like saying focus, follow one course until successful. Everyone trying to do 100 different things, it's not going to work. Like, but if you go all in on one and you stay consistent and don't get discouraged by low views, like you will make it happen. But just remember, it's about the audience and not like me just doing a podcast.
Yeah, so, send it to your family. I have a couple of thoughts here. One is you could film the podcast, whatever that means to you, because it's a little unclear if it means interviewing or not. Film it, strip the audio, upload the audio as the podcast. And that, like, if you think about Pod Save America, they do that. Stephen Bartlett even does it. A lot of people do that. They may record something that says, hey, the following is from this, but most people don't. They just start their interview. It's an audio version of it. They've gotten really good at knowing to say, if you're listening to this, ... or if you're watching, viewer, watch this. Like, I've had it podcast, the IHOP podcast. They do a really good job of that. Viewer, we're showing this on the screen, or listener, we're showing this on the screen, and then ... And that's another way to just kind of repurpose the same content without it being a big deal. Because you said it's going to be a lot of work. It may not have to be. It may just be audio to it. Second thing I want to show you is this, to Jack's point. Watch this, y'all. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure I'm optimized. It's going to be probably a little hard to, oh, that's right. It's going to be a little hard to hear, but. Do you think, Mary, that AI will one day be so smart and so capable and so autonomous that it could take over the world or rise up against humans? I love that. I just love that because she ends up saying, no, I don't think that. But that's that kind of like, the trailer looking feel to it. And that's why you can have, like, we would have a trailer in this if you're watching this on YouTube. Leave a comment, by the way, let us know your favorite part so far. But we would have this trailer that started the whole thing that just intrigues people. So no matter how your interview actually starts, you can actually kind of you can optimize for that hook. And you can, like Jack was saying, don't spend a lot of time at the top. I found that retention drops if we're doing too much backstory, especially at the beginning. Sometimes I'll do my backstory at the end because it's like it doesn't feel like it's supposed to happen that way, but people want to hear, they want to get to the point. They want to hear why it's important to them. And then they're in it. They've invested and they're like, oh, okay, tell me where you were born, that kind of thing. Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Selena asked 2 questions in the comments. I just want to answer them real quick.
Okay.
The difference between what she was asking is like a podcast is like going to be more of like a conversation. And then I guess she's also talking about doing YouTube videos where she's like interviewing people kind of like not sit down, but just kind of like.
But couldn't a podcast be an interview as well?
It can be.
That's why I say I don't know exactly.
It doesn't have to be super technical in the format. I'm saying she should just experiment with her format.
Sure.
Like she could do the sit down vibe. She could do that, like the in-person, the quick interviews on the street and compile them sort of vibe. Like I would recommend experimenting them and seeing what format the audience likes to see from her on her show is my thing.
100%.
And then tools that can help with hooks and titles, use Poppy AI. So I can put in the chat. Poppy AI is what I use. You can literally attach videos from anywhere on any social platform and put it on the Poppy board. And you can draw a line to a chatbot and ask the chatbot, can you make me YouTube titles for my channel that does this, like this video? And it literally pops it up. It's the coolest thing ever. I recommend it to anybody.
Wow. I've heard the name, but I didn't know it did that. That's crazy.
Great team over there. like you can do a ton of stuff. Like I use it for our agency. Like we have a copy board for every one of our clients where we put all their best performing videos and we say, give us 30 more hooks like these best performing videos for our next session, so that all the hooks going into the next session are going to be like their best performing ones, and it spits it out. And then we adjust it based on our own strategic, like we're like, that one's not really cool. Like we'll switch it. But like, look at how much work that just saved us. Like we could be having to scroll through creators trying to find and get new strategy for hooks for our clients, but they just gave us 30 ideas based off of, you don't even have to like upload the video. You just put the link to the Instagram video and you attach it to the chat bot. It's cool. It's so cool.
It's amazing.
So,
yeah. Awesome. Okay. Sonia says, I heard a client say that brands are a little nervous in this economy. Do you find there is any hesitancy with brands that are interested in working with you? I can't ask live because of background noise. Oh, yes. So do you have any, has it changed at all? And also, yeah, I mean, it may be culturally whatever, but.
So I have not seen that. I think there's different cycles. I think that towards the end, like if you want brand deals, like you need to like not try to get them in. If you're wanting brand deals for like Q4, you need to do that ahead of time. And the reason why is because a lot of companies have spent their budget for the year before Q4. And they're going to spend a ton, but like it's already maxed out, especially in even Q1. Some brands are like hesitant to spend because they just spent a lot of money depending on the brand for like the holidays and stuff like that. So I think it just depends on the brand and the timing, but I do think you can find brand partnerships any year round in this economy. I don't think that they're necessarily nervous. I will say brands are way more likely to spend money on long form than they are short form. So YouTube is king when it comes to brand sponsorships. I can get a brand integration for our channel tomorrow, but like if I want them to market a reel, it's going to be a lot of back and forth and trying to show the value, and that like, hey, we'll come up with a really dope creative idea to like actually market this. But brands are very scary when it comes to short form partnerships. It depends on the niche, of course. Like and it also depends if you're working with brand marketers or if you're working with performance marketers. So performance marketers, they want to return on their ad dollars. Like I gave you guys $10,000. I want $20,000 back in return on my ad placement. But brand marketers are the king, and they're the hardest to get. That's your Amex and your Capital One and your DraftKings. Like they don't care about like that's like the people you see on like if you go to a sporting event and they're on like the billboards everywhere. Like they just want attention on their product basically, and so like they will put a ton of money, doesn't matter what economy, behind their brand, but they are very hard to obtain, especially on things like short, like they're very just tougher to get. But I don't think the economy is gonna. I think if you're having trouble getting brands, you just need to get creative and reach out to more of them, or partner with an agency that can help you get them, and they'll just take a cut.
What do you think the subscriber count or view count has to be for a YouTube channel to start, in your experience, to start seeing sponsors being a viable option?
So it depends, because some people do like spending on niche creators and micro influencers. So it's not going to be like huge ticket prices, but like you could get like $500 for a brand integration on a YouTube video, depending on your following. Like you could have like 5,000 subs, but if they're all the right subs that are all like that, your avatar, it's not like random people. Like the demographics show that the avatar it's like, US, UK, Canada, like it's like countries that like people are more willing to spend money. No shade to India, but if your subscriber count is like 60% from India, you're going to have a hard time getting brand sponsors because people in India don't typically spend a lot of money on brand integrations. So I think like you can get a sponsorship even at 500, like at 5,000 subs. I think like if you get to 10K subs, that opens up the door even more. I don't think it's like impossible to get brand sponsorships all the way back then. Just realize it's not going to be like 10K for a placement. It's going to be more like $500,000,
that goes back to how to monetize from day one, which is don't count on YouTube monetization, as you mentioned earlier. Don't count on brand sponsorships. Count on your own offer from day one, because the 5 people who watched your first video are people who could go and look at your offer. And then the rest of it kind of happens naturally. Also, if you're thinking, oh, 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, we just had Quiana on, and she went from 160 subscribers to 3,600 subscribers in about 3 videos. So it's attainable. And when it really starts going, it starts going. I remember Giselle was at, forgot how many subscribers now. She's at 30,000. I can't remember how many when she started with Arlan's All Access. I had a question for you, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. Have you all thought about doing a live event, like a 10X or a Gary V, like a V Friends type of thing, or your first million live? Thank you. Have you tried that?
For sure, but it's in the pipeline.
Okay.
We want to be very good at like what we do now and perfecting that. But I feel that like once we get to a point where it's just like, hey, that seems like the logical next step. Like for us, it seemed like high ticket was the next route to go after the low ticket community. So we're building and reforming that and trying to turn that into a really great program for people. The same wow factor that I feel like School of Mentors has for people. We're building the high ticket one into that as well. Yeah. And then from there, like that opens up the door for like high level masterminds, events, things like that. I feel like that'll be the logical next step.
I mean, absolutely. Because then you have something to upsell to as well. In addition to all the heartstring stuff, you definitely have like a spot for like a 2,000 to 5,000. If not, I mean, you could probably do a lot more than that, but you want to think about what that feels like for the attendee. That 2,000 to 5,000 wait list only, then streamed. It seems very, very, it would be pretty amazing. And having in mind more of a TED Talk rather than a party, I think, I know your audience can party, but I just think that would be really cool to see some of those people live. That would be really.
I think it would just be doing like the interviews.
Exactly.
Like James could do them live on stage with somebody.
Exactly. That's what I'm imagining. And that's why I say I don't necessarily love the Grant Cardone way, but I'm just thinking of his 10X or Russell Brunson's, ClickFunnels. Some of it is presentation and some of it is interviews, but you all have an interview platform that people would love to see happen in person. And the people you could bring to it and command there without having to pay speaker fees, I think is like one of your biggest, the biggest assets that you all have that's so rare. That would be pretty awesome to do in the next couple of years. And I put on my own event. I put on a 2,000 person event in LA, and we had Issa Rae, we had Rich Paul, TLC, a lot of different cool people, and it's completely changed a lot of things in my company and life. So I hope that for you and wish that for you. I'm trying to convince Sam to do it at school. Trying to convince him to do that sooner than later. Okay.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
It would be amazing. Yeah, I know we're doing some.
If they had a scalable way for people to like build a live event for their community, I think that'd be cool.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was saying for them to do a school event, but absolutely, yeah. I think the same way that they have that merch button on the Schooler account, where it's like if you click on it, it looks really cool, and they should be able to just bill it out to everybody. And maybe they have to do I wouldn't even need them to do the fulfillment. I would just say, just give me a page that said merch on it and I'll take care of the fulfillment. Give me some options of where we could go, but or connect it with, a white label that's already out there. But that's the same thing. And I think the maps is the first step to that. So you have the maps, and we have a whole section of people meeting each other in person. There's so much more we could talk about. I know you have given us so much of your quality time here. This is, let us know in the comments what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, what has been your biggest takeaway? What questions do you still have? I look at every single comment, and I'll make sure that we get some answers for you. Jack, what is something that you want us to leave with?
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick before I do that, Nikki asked in the comments, long form is defined as what? Long form is like the longer videos you see on like YouTube, whereas like short form is going to be like your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the Reels. It's not so much like a time length; it's more like the type of videos. So like the landscape video style videos you see on YouTube, they could even be a minute long. Like that's a long form. It's more so like that's the style of video. But short form's the ones where it's like fed to you like on a screen, like that sort of that's what I meant by that.
So you're doing, Nikki, in YouTube Studio, you're doing long form. That's what we're focused on.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's
typically when we talk YouTube, that's what we mean by long form for sure. Unless we say YouTube Shorts. If we say YouTube Shorts, then that's technically short form. So
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For everybody here, first off, Arlan, thank you so much for having me. It's been great, really great group that you have here. I'm super excited to be able to talk with you guys. And for us, it's just the biggest thing that's really paid off for us has been our consistency and being able to just over and over and over again, just like keep doing what we need to do in order to grow and be successful. And I think for everybody here, like don't take your foot off the gas. One thing I want to leave you guys with is I always like to talk about my favorite interview that we've done on School of Hard Knocks. And it's with a gentleman named Tony Stevens. It was just a chance encounter in Dallas. And what he did is he rolled out a strip of like 1 to 100 on a piece of paper. It was like a piece of paper numbered 1 to 100. And he tore off 75 to 100 and put the strip away. He's like, well, the average male lives to age 75. So I'm going to tear that off and tear it. And I'm 57. So I'm going to tear it at 57 and 157 we're going to put over here. And he held up the strip that was like kind of a tiny strip between 57 and 75. It was like, this little strip here is all I got left. And maybe your ribbon's a little bit longer, but you could have a bad sickness and the quality of the ribbon isn't the same. And basically his message was leave each day as a life in miniature, live it on steroids, and wake up with gratitude because you don't know when your ribbon's going to end. And so I think for everybody here as entrepreneurs, people building things, it's a point to take urgency. And even in the stress of building that with that urgency, just be grateful that we get a chance to wake up and build something impactful every day. And, life is a gift. That interview came out 2 weeks before I was supposed to have heart surgery. And it hit me right in the gut, just like, man, like, even though I was going through a tough time then, this is like the fact that I'm even here getting a chance at life is just amazing. So I'm just grateful for every day that I get and getting to do impactful and cool stuff and talk with you guys today. So very grateful and thank you for having me. So it's been awesome.
Amazing. Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much, everybody. You're getting a lot of love in here. People may not be able to see it on the Zoom.
Thank you guys. You guys are a great group. It's great to connect with you guys.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.